guys, this is Lord Chael speaking on behalf of our show sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. They allow you to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so you can officially call yourself a lord or a lady. Established Titles is not just about your ego. You also get to do some good. In addition to your new fancy title, Established Titles supports global charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to help with the afforestation effort. Your title pack gets you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in a private estate in Scotland. Your certificate features a unique plot number where you can see the exact location of your land. And right now, Established Titles is holding 200 plots of land right next to mine. So come join me in the Bad Guy Inc. Kingdom. Getting this certificate even allows you to officially change your name to Lord or Lady. Put it on your credit card, put it on your plane tickets, or if you're so inclined, put it on your dating profile. Makes for a great last-minute gift, and there's even couples packs that come with adjoining plots of land. Established Titles is having a great limited-time sale. Go to establishedtitles.com/Chael to save 10% off today. Remember to use the promo code Chael, or just click on the link below. Brendan Schaub. Now, Brendan Schaub and I are very close. And you have friends, right? You have friends. And that means, boy, you got some friends, you got your boys, you got your buddies. But then you have teammates. You have workout partners. And it's not always the same. There is not always a social life with these guys. There's not always an exchanging of phone numbers. Matter of fact, you might have a guy within your own weight class. Guy that you got to deal with. Guy where your gym got an opportunity for a weight. The coaches gave it to him. It was down to him and you, and they gave it to him. Great hard feelings. That's all I'm sharing. This might be somebody that you don't like, somebody that you don't get along with. You'll love that person, though. And you might want to hit him, you might want to beat him, and you might want to take his spot away, but you would not let anybody else. Just one of those things. A teammate and a workout partner and somebody that you shared the room with and you shared those experiences, that you trusted with your body and they trusted you with yours. Even though there's going to be punching and kicking, there's still a trust. It just goes into a different category. And this was what Brendan means to me. And I just want to offer that. I just want to offer a full disclosure because a number of years ago, some of Brendan's tighter circle was Joe Rogan, Brian Callen to be specific. And they did this public. Sat down on the Joe Rogan show. That's not what he calls it. The Joe Rogan program. JRP. They sit him down. They say to him, we don't want you to fight anymore. It was an intervention. And it hurt. They caught him off guard. One thing about an intervention is the person doesn't know it's coming. You're greatly outnumbered, but you're outnumbered by people whose opinions will influence you. You like them. You trust them. And you don't know about it. Okay, so they sit him down. They do this intervention. They aired it for the world. It was very hard for Brendan to hear. And I don't think Brendan had any kind of a hard time hearing, hey, stop fighting. Brendan already had other careers he was going to go into. Brendan already had his girl, and he knew, I'm going to become a father and a family. He knew there was another life out there for him. He knew that at the time. I don't think that's what he had a hard time hearing. I think he had a very hard time finding out that those that he trusted most didn't believe in him. Now, this is my guess. I had a different opinion at the time. I watched this show, and it bothered Brendan the way they talked to him. It bothered me as much as it bothered Brendan, but I had different information. I had information that Joe and Brian didn't, which was the training room, which was how the preparations were going. Brendan was there on time every day. He never left early, and he never missed practice, and he did 2 of them a day. Came and trained with us at Rain, and in the evening he went and boxed. I think he was even going to Wild Card, just to name drop. But I knew he was putting the time in. Now, if you want to get real specific, at the Rain Training Center, it was search and destroy. You find your opponent, boom, 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 you hit your opponent. Every technique that we did was based on that. When Brendan would go into the wild card, he met a coach who saw how light Brendan was on his feet, saw how well as a heavyweight he could move, and talked him into and instructed him into footwork. into keeping distance. Now, those two juxtapositions of trainers and coaches, one getting inside, boom, boom, the other one staying outside, scoring some points, moving around, make sure you don't get hit. As opposite as those are, they actually work beautifully together. That contrast actually works beautifully together, but it takes time. You got to work some of these things out. Brendan was working that live in front of the world. That was all that Joe and Brian were seeing. And Joe and Brian weren't able to take into account why you're seeing different performances. They weren't able to take into account what Brendan's trying to do. Respect that he's showing the coaches things he's been working on the room, what he's trying to do in live action. Oh, by the way, he wasn't quite polished for it. I'm going down a different road. Okay? But I haven't forgot the day that happened. I never weighed my opinion ever. First time I've ever spoken about it. Didn't call Brendan on the side. I stayed out of it. He had his circle. That's who that was going to be. But I had different information. And I had different reasoning for why some of the performances, real broken down specifically two positions that he was finding himself in. I had different reasoning as to why we were getting there. And I was very bullish at the time, and I remain there today. Had he just had a little more time, he never turned a fight down, Brendan Schaub. He never skipped a date. Right? Every 3-4 months he's in there. We could have just waited. We could have pushed it to his next fight is 7 months from now. All these problems would have been solved. I believe that. But I'm now hearing people having very tough talks with Tony Ferguson. And they're not his inner circle. They're his peers. There's us. It's our community. I don't know who is within Tony's inner circle. I don't know. I was told that he went out and trained at Jackson Wink, but Jackson and Wink were not in the corner. Now, Gibson was, and that was the representative. But Kenny was the head corner man. Kenny lives in California. I'm told that Tony left California and he went out to Albuquerque. The point is, I don't fully know what went on with his training. I don't fully know. And I saw something different than many people did. Daniel Cormier spoke very clearly on this, and it was tough talk. But you got to have tough talk, particularly from guys that are leaders like Daniel. And Daniel said, it is over. He said, I don't know what within that I don't care about the outcome. I didn't like the way Tony performed. And I don't know what within that performance would lead Tony to believe it's a good idea to ever do this again. All right. Daniel has earned the right to an opinion. And Daniel is not just a former great competitor. He's a current coach. So this is his job. And maybe he doesn't oversee Tony, but he oversees guys just like Tony, who are doing something, who are dedicated to something, who at some point, hey, you need to go on to call. You got 4 more years and you need to do this. You're just breaking through, and he's got to turn to somebody else. And he's got to say, great career. But it's time to stop competing in this field. These are tough things. So Daniel put both of those caps on. He came to his opinion. With Tony, Daniel is not alone. I think I'm the odd man out. I saw something different. I liked the fight. There was a time within that fight I thought that Nate Diaz quit. There was a time when Nate turned and walked away, and he even waved it off. Now, the referee has the right to step in and stop the fight right there. The referee just knew Nate well enough. Hey, no damages happened, nothing's bad. Let this moment play out. Do you guys remember that? It wasn't a full 3 seconds, but it was all a 2. And 2 seconds in a fist fight, that's a long time. Think of how many punches we've seen land in 2 seconds because somebody got away from something. Think about arms that we've seen snap because it wasn't broken 2 seconds later. 2 seconds in the octagon. Now, it turned out that was a setup. When Nate turned and walked away from Tony, he thought Tony was going to chase after him and Nate was going to turn back and connect. But we didn't know that. Now, we knew it the second time and the third time that Nate did that. And we saw some of these moments. I enjoyed them. It's not for everybody. And I don't mean from the viewer. I mean, not every fighter could have done that. We saw 11 fights that night. If within all 11 fights, we had to turn and walk away and wave it off as a form of setting up, no, we got a big problem with this. Nate did that same setup to Leon, just to remind you. Leon also didn't fall for it, but I saw it, so I recognized it. I see what Nate's trying to do. But in those 2 seconds when I really thought that oh my goodness, he's waving this off. He's frustrated. He feels he's done enough. He's going to wave it off. I had the whole thing figured out. He's going to do an interview. He's going to talk about I never should have been here. I'm frustrated. The UFC's trying to be done with me. I'm ready to be done with them. I'm walking out like I had this whole thing figured out. When Nate turned back and things continue, but I'm just sharing parts of the match. I remember this. The strategy for Tony to take his opponent down by the textbook was the right call. It was the right call. Tony had tried twice with real effort to take Nate down to the ground. The other times Tony went for takedown attempts, it was, if I get it, great. If I don't, right, I'm out here moving. But 2 times he had put real effort in. The coaches had determined he's going to be safe on the mat. Nate's going to stay there. Tony is good enough to either control the position or win the position, but nothing bad is going to happen to him. That is what the coaches were determined. There's a fatigue that set in. There's a sweat. Very hard to tap somebody out when they're sweaty. I mean, just by example, you go watch a jiu-jitsu, they'll dry you down in between. They'll take a towel before the rounds come out because you're not going to have any action. The coaches, per the textbook, gave Tony good advice. It's true. And Tony listened, and he went out, and he did it. Now, caught in the left side guillotine, gets chokes out, fights over. Chael, how could you ever say that was good advice? Okay. I liked the fight. I did. I thought they were very well matched up. Thought it was an appropriate fight. I thought that there was a fight that should have happened, but there's talks going on that Tony doesn't have anything left. Now, when I come to you from a perspective, I want Tony to be given that opportunity. I do. I will share that with you on a human level. All of those fights that Tony lost have a different story. I mean, all of them. Throw one at me. Benny DeRouche. Benny DeRouche is ranked number 2 in the world. If I'm wrong, he's number 3. Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is a former number 1 contender right now, champion of the world. Tony went and protected himself for 15 minutes. Michael Chandler, I don't even know how many belts that son of a gun has won, and he's pursuing another one. Oh, by the way, he's a top 5 guy in the world. And we don't really know where Tony's at. We understand he's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we don't have evidence yet that he's not 6. This is going into the fight. Now we do have a little bit clear evidence. Now we do see. But Shelley yourself and shouldn't be able to do it. He was out there protecting himself. He was out there scoring. Judges turned their cards in. Everybody else that fought were done by then. I mean, these guys are in the 4th round when things go bad for Tony. Everybody else that fought on the card now, guys you love, guys that you respect, they weren't even scheduled to be that deep into a fight. Tony Ferguson's a 155-pounder. He competed at 170 pounds. Anybody else that had changed weight classes and was that competitive in a main event spot, we're not even having this conversation. Now, maybe Daniel's right. There's not 3 options here. There's 2. Daniel's not right or Daniel is right. Maybe he is. I will share with you, I would like that to be an option. I would. And maybe we're down to the final one. Cowboy Cerrone, just for recent memory, was put in that position. This is going to be, enjoy it. Win or lose, though, this is it. Anderson Silva was in that same position, and he was given a main event. He was put on the worldwide leader, but he was told, win or lose, this is going to be it. That's okay. I think that's respectful. I think that that's nice. I would like for Tony to be given the option. I would like for it to be a choice. I think when I tell you he changed weight classes, I think when I told you he was fighting in the 4th round, which nobody else was even scheduled to do, I think when I tell you that it was a competitive fight, and I think that I tell you when judges have him that he's winning rounds, I think the fact that his coaches told him to go and get a takedown, and he listened and trusted his coaches and had the ability to go and get a takedown, I just think that there's a little bit more to it, and I don't feel that that's being told. And a lot of people, you guys included, when I talk about this, are telling me, Chael, you need to go back and watch it. Chael, you were drunk on excitement because of the comments made by Diaz in the post-fight interview. That outweighed the show, and you forgot about those 15 completed minutes. So I went back and rewatched it. I thought I saw a competitive fight, both offensively and defensively. Tony's greatest weapon is his outside leg kick. Nate blocked that 25 seconds in, opened up that big cut, took that weapon away. Tony Ferguson, absent of his biggest weapon, he was still holding his own. I don't think I did see that wrong. I believe there was a misunderstanding many years ago about the performances that Brendan Schaub was having. I believe there's a misunderstanding right now about the performance that Tony Ferguson just had.